Hey everyone, my name is Johnny. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Songfluencer. Here with my friend Jen Darmafall from Warner Records. We want to thank Music Ally for giving us a quick chance to talk about the global impact of influencer marketing. Jen, why don't you give us a little background on you and how influencer marketing has impacted you and your business over the last year or two?
Sure, yeah. So I head up influencer marketing at Warner Records. So I focus on influencer marketing all day long, eat, sleep, breathe it. That's literally how it's affected me. Um, what about you, Johnny? How did you get into the influencer space?
I was a manager prior to getting into an artist manager. I should specify that. Talking about influencers, a lot of my artists were talking about wanting influencers to promote their songs, and this was 3-4 years ago, and it was insane to figure out. It was hard, and I couldn't really find anyone that like specialized in music influencer marketing. So kind of thought that there was something I could go after there. So it's been 3.5 years and Songfluencer. We've got a staff of 20, especially in the last year and a half. We've grown a lot, and we do a lot of stuff on TikTok. It seems like TikTok is really where music consumption is landing right now. So that's really our main focus. But we do stuff on Instagram, Snapchat, Triller, and anything we can kind of get our hands on and learn and grow. Are you guys focused a lot on TikTok or Instagram? Like what are some of the things that you're thinking about right now?
Yeah, I mean, every platform that you just named, those are all platforms that, we at Warner are also focused very heavily on. But I would say TikTok these days is definitely the bread and butter of where we're focusing the most of our attention. Especially over the last year, I feel like we've really seen TikTok really seem to take over the music industry. So it's a big focus for us.
And that's because TikTok does not any success on TikTok does not correlate to streaming. That's why, right?
Oh no, none at all, right? No. No, because there's definitely a lot of opportunity for TikTok to correlate to streaming. That's exactly why it's
Yeah.
a huge priority for us at our label, and I'm sure you've also seen it on your side. Being an agency that works not only with Warner, but various different labels and music
Yeah.
companies as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think there's a lot of I mean, everyone's looking for consumption, everyone's looking for streaming, but I think there was one time we were on a call where you really put the word consumption in the crosshair as opposed to just streaming. And I think there's a lot to be said about that, yes, we want sales and streaming at the end of the day, but I think where influencer marketing really comes in is looking at the global picture of an artist and like overall consumption, different platforms, different fan bases, and not just looking at like streaming. um, I mean, I wish every time that we did something, we activated influencers. I wish every time an artist went viral, but it doesn't happen every single time. I don't know why. I think we work with amazing artists, as I'm sure you do, but I can't explain why it happened. Why there's times where you do something with influencers and an artist goes viral, and then the next time you replicate exactly what you just did, and you kind of have mild results. I don't know, but I know that there's different ways to view consumption, and there's different ways to view success, and that's what currently like I'm learning as I go through this as a music marketer. I think it's, you want the streaming obviously, but sometimes I think where I think we're getting to as music marketers is influencer marketing can be a long play. It's I think we need to look at it like fan acquisition strategies and less about, I need this song to go viral.
I
Well,
need
what
this
about,
trend to go viral.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, are you experiencing that a lot with like, we need a dance trend to take off?
The
Are
dance
you,
trend is the one that I feel like is the most famous request. I feel like everybody in the music marketing space gets that. But yeah, I mean, even to your point, just regarding, consumption and streaming and whatnot, I think it's also very important just to realize too that there's so many different objectives within the influencer space, whether, we're talking about Instagram or YouTube or TikTok. But again, TikTok in particular, there's awareness-based campaigns that maybe are just solely awareness based from start to finish. There also are awareness based campaigns that might even transition into being a consumption driven campaign by the end of it. Maybe it is just you starting a campaign on TikTok just to kind of seed out and do some sort of experimentation to see what trend might potentially catch on, as opposed to actually forcing a dance trend. And then, through that, you might actually identify a new audience for your artist or for a song. A trend might actually come out of it. And then from there, sure, you might actually see this crossover outside of the platform as well to other platforms like Instagram. It might organically be picked up, YouTube, streams to a music video, playlisting across DSPs. So I think, I think that's a huge area of focus for everybody right now.
Yeah. I had someone once tell me that it's like now, well, the music industry was always about like kind of manipulating what we wanted the audience to like do or act on, right? And now it's so much more of like, we are reacting to what the audience is doing. We're like chasing them and figuring out how to like narrate the story. And I think marketers that are in the influencer marketing space, I think if you keep that in mind, then like that's where I think the success is. I think if you're trying to manufacture virality, I think that's your first mistake. Like I think you might get lucky every once in a while, but I think, at least what we do internally, I've got two great creators that work full time for us, Mina and Brooke. And, there are concepts and things they come up with, but a lot of times they're looking at like, how can we take what's already happening and jump on that? How can we use like what's currently moving and pivot this campaign towards what is working with the audience, as opposed to like what management thinks or what this guy A&R guy thought or what this artist drummer wanted to do. It's like, well, let's watch what's happening on this platform. Let's watch the users and audience and fans and create it that way. And I think that is probably the most fundamental difficult shift, I think, for a lot of marketers to understand. And I'm sure that you feel that way. I'm sure you've like dealt with,
you're stripping the control away from people. Yeah. And I feel like for the longest time, we've been living in a world where managers, artists, A&R, whoever, insert somebody's name here, they very much had control. But the thing with influencer marketing these days, it's the influencers and the fans that are honestly more in control of the direction that we are taking when it comes to allocating our marketing spends.
Yeah. Speaking of strategy, I know there's, you've been a part of a lot of viral, successes. When you see something like a trend taking off, like is there a strategy that you have in mind? Like, obviously you don't want to share all your tips and secrets here, but is there anything like, I'll dump a few ideas that I always think about, but like anything like you're cool with sharing the audience or like something that you want to throw out there and talk about? We only got a few more minutes, so figured I'd pepper in some.
I think in general, again, to your point, like, sure, something's going viral. I think that the smartest thing to do is obviously to chase it. You don't want to pivot away from it. So again, to me, it's, you don't want to force a trend. You want to kind of experiment. You want to play around. You really want to dive into the strengths, and really identifying the audience and whatnot. But again, say there is a trend that's already kind of starting to show itself. You want to chase that trend. You want to get the right influencers involved. You want to make sure that you are tapping into building out a strategy of, getting the bigger influencers, getting the micros and the nanos, and in the timing of your strategy as well. You can't just put 2 influencers on a campaign and expect there is an entire groundswell right there. Like, you do have to make sure that you are building out like a pyramid effect. There's, you've got the big people, you've got the middle tier, you've got the small people, and you really got to play into, the data, looking at that and looking at, the overall UGC and, how many videos are going up per day. And yeah, that's where my head is at when I'm building out a campaign, especially when I am already seeing something kind of start to translate. It's all about chasing that. And then again, too, making sure that, when people open the platform, it's bam, it's in their face, not just on TikTok, but if, you've successfully mastered getting your song to go viral on TikTok, you want it to also cross over to other platforms. You want them to open Instagram and it's everywhere. You want them to open Twitter and it's everywhere, and YouTube everywhere. And yeah, so that's kind of what I focus on whenever I start taking off on a particular platform.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, TikTok's always the main driver. And I think I stress that most to like our clients and different labels that we work with. TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. But yeah, if you do get to a point, like let's start talking about what Reels can do or what Snapchat can do or Triller. And, don't forget about just, any platform that makes sense for your artist. So I totally agree, Jen. Well, I think we got to head out here. I hope that was, just dropping a little bit of knowledge on everyone here at the Sandbox Summit, giving them a little bit of insight into influencer marketing. Guys, as I continue to learn more about influencer marketing, I feel like I know less and less. Be friends with Jen and you get to know more and more. So that's just my MO. But anyway, I can be reached at Johnny@songfluencer.com. Jen, what is it? Jen.Darmafall.
Jen.Darmafall at Warner Records.
That's what it is. I wasn't sure if there was a dot in there or not. If you have any questions regarding influencer marketing, you want to follow up after this. Once again, Music Allies, Sandbox Summit, thanks for having us. And looking forward to checking out some of these awesome panels this week.